Hey, what's up everybody? Quentin here with Mid-South Outdoor Life, and in today's video, the Catfish Vacation, I'm going to do my best to take you on a little adventure out on the river. You see, for over 14 weeks, I've been working between 70 and 80 hours a week. I've got a day job, I've had a huge side project going on, and it hasn't left really any time to be out on the water or, just kind of unwind and get back to center, so to speak. But right now, well, let's see. I spent last night in the truck camper. As you see, I threw the truck camper in the truck. I've got the boat right back here. And yeah, it's about to get fun. I got 2 days. I know that's a short vacation. So a lot of you guys living the life of luxury, you're probably used to like 14-day vacations. Well, I've got a 2-day vacation. I'm spending the whole time on the water. I'm taking you with me. Let's do this. I know you're probably not supposed to have any like goals or objectives, or really even plans when you're on vacation. However, this is me we're talking about, and as any of my closest friends would tell you, I'm a planner. So my first plan or goal for the day was to be out on the water well before sunup. I accomplished that, as you saw in the intro. It was quite dark. I slept well last night in the camper. I didn't get to the ramp till like 1 in the morning, but I slept well, got up on time, and now it's time to get some bait, because I have practically none. I have a little bit of frozen bait. I want some fresh. Now, from what I've seen on my boat ride so far, I have very little expectation that I'm going to be able to get any fresh skipjack. So I'll probably be fishing with shad. I'll probably throw the cast net here in a little bit. But I'm going to try. See if I can get some skipjack to go along with that shad that I hope to get. But yeah, it's not looking real promising so far today, as far as that goes. At some point during this video, I will be looking for some big trophy blue cats. However, on day one, today, I'm looking for a variety of fish. I'm going to fish specifically for fiddlers. Those little bitty ones. Not that big. Less than a pound anyway. Love to fry those whole. So I'll be looking for some of those. Now if that goes well, then I'll probably start looking for giants. But I do intend to focus tomorrow, specifically looking for bigger fish. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, as I suspected, bait spot number one is not treating me well. I got a couple of fiddler rods out here. If that works out, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I'm catching fiddlers. And if you're interested, by the way, in a catch and cook specifically about fiddlers, let me know in the comments below and I'll do that. Hey, there's a takedown right there. Golly. Look at that. That's more than a fiddler, though. Definitely not a fiddler. Oh, it came off. You're kidding. Oh, definitely a catfish. Look at that slime. Holy smoke. Look at all that. Gosh. He got me. Let's put that back out there. In fact, since that was obviously a pretty good sized fish, I think I'll put out some bigger baits as well. always, always, always carry a good cast net. The river has jumped up a lot in the last week and a half, something like that. So I knew getting bait would be questionable, but I always carry a cast net. My point is, carry a cast net. Alright, some small gizzards and a couple of pretty decent sized gizzard shad. A few more perfectly sized gizzard shad for what I'm wanting. Alright, so check this out. I've got a little bit of a theory that relates to having an easy or tough time getting bait and a bad or a good day of fishing. It seems to me that every time I come out and the bait's super easy, just real quick, you know, whatever it is I'm after, I get it, the fishing tends to suck. Opposite end, if I really struggle to get bait, most of the time I end up having a solid day of fishing, so it kind of balances out, I guess. That's not down to an exact science, but it's just something that I've noticed. I got a bite right there. And on that note, I've had a hard time getting bait today. I haven't found any skipjack. I have found some good gizzard shad, but I also tore up my favorite net. This is not a cheap net. It's a durable net. I've abused it. But today I hung it up on what I'm guessing was a tree, and I had to use the motor to pull it loose. So I broke a braille line. A big net like this, breaking a braille line can be a little bit of an ordeal to fix on a boat. My tip though, this is what I did. I laid the net over my cooler, as you can see here, to help me sort of isolate different parts of the net without too much confusion. It didn't take long, I just worked my way around until I found it. Tied it up, it's ready to go. I'm gonna catch a little bit more bait and then focus the rest of my time on looking for catfish. Check it out. It appears that the small catfish have begun to bite. I'm bringing my lines in. And I had two of these. These are big for a fiddler. I don't know if I'd call that a fiddler. It's close. But I'll take it. I need some fish to eat. There's another one. That's awesome. This one is definitely too big to call a fiddler. You know what? I'm sitting here in 10 feet of water, below freezing temperatures, catching gorgeous clean water blue cats. So I'll take it. There's another one. Tell you what, if you guys will stick around, I I will show you how I like to clean these little dudes to make them really easy to take home and fry whole. I promise you, you've never eaten a catfish that is as tender and clean tasting as one of these little fiddlers. There we go. Tell you what, that's just about perfect timing. That's the way I like it. 2 rods, and just a little bit of bait goes a long way when you get into these things. By the way, a good friend of mine showed me quite a bit about catching these. And there again, these are actually a little bit bigger than what I would call fiddler. Some of these are just small catfish. But like I said, I need some fish to eat. These will do the job. But I would like to catch them even smaller. It may be too late in the year to catch them smaller. I'm not sure. There we go. A friend of mine was asking me yesterday, he's like, man, why would you drive all the way to the river to focus on small catfish when you can go catch big catfish? Well, I guess there's a couple of reasons for that. A, small catfish are absolutely delicious. B, I don't have anything to prove. This is fun. I mean, this is a blast. This is, in a way, just as fun as catching the big ones. Different, but same. This is one of the cool things about targeting true fiddlers. A little bait goes a long way. I've got plenty of bait. I've got a bunch of gizzard shad, and I've got those frozen skipjack in the cooler. But seriously, with just a couple gizzard shad and 1 or 2 skipjack, you can fish for a couple of days for these things. So that's pretty cool. Finally, look at that. Now that, my friends, is the perfect fiddler. That is the delicacy in this river. That's perfect. Let's see what it weighs. We're going to say about 8 ounces. Maybe 9 ounces. So how do I prefer to target these fiddlers? Well, check it out. This is a 7'6" Rippin' Lips medium light. Significantly different than the medium heavies and even the heavies that you see me fish with 90% of the time. Medium light. Stronger than a crappie rod, but just barely a catfish rod, and I love them. They're great for these little fish, and when you do get lucky and hook into like a 15 or 20 pounder, it's a blast. But anyway, I've got the same braid I always have on, the 65-pound braid, just because I use older reels on these, and I just got some old leftover line on there. Down to whatever size swivel. This is 20-pound mono. It's what I usually use for a sinker leader when I'm bumping. But yeah, just any mono will do. I like a 1/0 or a 3/0. I mean, it's technically a circle, but it's Owner Mutu Light is what that is. and just however much weight it takes to keep it at the bottom. Carolina rig. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I've burned my entire morning messing around with these little Fiddler catfish, and I'm pretty pumped about it. It's pretty much lunchtime. I've caught, I think, 41. I've probably kept 20. The others were far too big. For lunch today, I'm serving viennies and cornbread. And when I say cornbread, I'm talking about, I brought me some cornbread. I'm going to call this firecracker cornbread because it's got jalapenos and some hot seasoning, and I don't know, but I like cornbread. That'll do. That'll do just fine. Okay, I've got 3 good baits in the water. I'm going to cast one off the back here in a minute. But I'm fishing the edge of a drop. Actually, I'm just past the edge of the drop. I wanted to be right on it, but I ended up just past it. The boat's moving around a little bit. 72 feet of water. Working a ton of fish. This could be good. Obviously, I'm dealing with a lot of drift. That's a hassle, but it's going to be worth it. This drift is just crazy. 1 minute it's out in the river, the next minute it's over here against the bank. But I'm marking enough fish that I'm going to sit here a little bit. Okay, big fish spot number 1. Not so good. Had one little bite. Lots of hassle with drift. Time to find another spot. Alright guys, I have been grinding it out. Ever since lunch, it's been really slow. I've been to like 5 places. I don't know if I'll include any of them in this video, but I've set up in at least 5 spots. This is a pretty unusual spot. I just came through some really strange, wicked fast current. And then this weird sideways channel, which pushed me up onto a oddly placed 3 foot deep sandbar. And right now I'm fishing a reverse that I guess is what built that little sandbar. Anyway, odd little spot, but I marked a sweet pile of fish. So I'm going to give this 15 minutes. Not a bigot, but it's the first fish in several hours. another bite over there on the side. I don't know if you can see it. This is definitely not what I'm looking for. I've got plenty of fish to eat now, and I'm wanting big ones. Got 2 bites going on that side over there. On one hand, it has truly been a grind today. I mean, it is super cold. It's been really slow since lunch. Running around, trying to find big ones, barely getting bites. Freezing my tuchus off. But I gotta tell you, I'm kind of thankful for it. Like I said earlier in the video, it's been way too much work and not enough fishing. But even if I don't catch another fish today, I got something to look forward to when I get back to the camper. I have a monster batch of chili. That'll warm me up. And I get to totally nerd out on more catfish stuff because I brought something really cool to show you guys when I get back to the camper. Well, I haven't caught any giants yet this trip, but at the very least, I have stuck to my plan. I went out and I got some fish to eat. I'm feeling super relaxed. It was cold out there, no doubt about that, and it got really slow after lunch. That was a little tough. Super cold, no action after lunch. But man, I tell you, I'm feeling good. I feel somewhat positive about tomorrow, maybe getting some bigger fish. We'll see, you never know. But right now I've got the heater on, I got fresh tortillas, I've got chili, which is just about ready. And check this out. So talk about catfish nerdery. Check this out. A friend of mine hooked me up with a whole stack of old VHS catfish videos. I got a bunch of DVDs too. Now this one that's on here right now, it's like 22 years old. Rock River Flatheads, Mississippi Blues, Christmas Whiskers, whole bunch of them. So I'm nerding out tonight. I'm gonna sleep good, and see you in the morning. I'd like y'all to just have a gander at what I woke up to this morning. It's a real life winter wonderland here in Arkansas. Talk about rare. I mean, we really just don't see this. The boat's gonna be a little heavy, I suspect. Well, as you can see there on the screen, I've just dropped into the river. And if you look out the window, it looks as though I would not be going anywhere fast. It also looks like I probably won't make it to the spots that I had intended to fish today. I had a pretty long run down the river plan to some spots, but I mean, I'm struggling just to keep the windshield clear enough to really get anywhere. I know when I look over here, it doesn't look like it's snowing much, but the windshield only lasts maybe a couple minutes, and there's very little visibility on the river. I don't think I said it earlier in the video, but I knew there was snow coming, and I was really looking forward to it. And I'm glad it's here, but holy crap. These are some challenges I guess I really didn't think that much about. So I'm not going to make it to my original plan, but I do have a spot in mind that I think I can make it to. So the next time I turn this on, hopefully I'll be there. Well, I made it. You're the first spot that I'm gonna spend a little time at. It's beautiful. There's some birds over here sharing the spot with me. I'm going to identify them as seagulls, but I really don't know what they are. A snowman made it. A bait is covered in snow. I told you it was snowing hard. Let's do this. I'm going to be using frozen skipjack because it's so cold out here. I did not feel like throwing a net when I started off this morning, so frozen bait it is. Woo. It is wicked cold, y'all. I'm a southern boy. I'm not used to this. Woo! Those rods are frozen. There's snow. The rods themselves feel frozen, but there's snow frozen to them. It's brutal. I got a bite over here though. Check that out. I don't know if you can see it. I'm in 50 feet of water. I'll be moving around a little bit. I'll be moving between 50 and 70. Look at that. There we go. I was taking a break from putting rods out because of how cold my hands are. And I guess it worked out because I got one on. It's not a big one, but I'll take it. Yeah. I'm gonna risk it. Try to bring him in by the leader. Oh, he's not hooked very good. Here we go. I got it. All right. This would be a good fish to eat, but it's stupid cold. I don't want to disrupt the snowman, and I want to focus on trying to catch bigger fish today. So, hey, snowman. I'm concerned my buddy's going to get taken out, so I'm going to move him to the back of the boat. Fish on right here. I shouldn't even have these little medium lights out, to be honest, because I know there are big fish here. Stay strong, little leader. Alright. There's definitely plenty of fish here. The question is there a giant? Back to the depths. One there looks like. That one came off. Right species, wrong size. There's a bite back there. I was going to say I don't have the words to express. I do have the words to express. Maybe I just don't want to be sappy or be that vulnerable, but let's just say it'd be tough to describe just exactly how thrilled I am to just be out here and to get to do this and see this. I'd like to catch a big one for you guys because I guess that adds a little extra something to the video, particularly for the spot poachers to just tune in to see if I catch a big fish and where did I catch it. I see you guys. But for the rest of you guys, I want to just entertain you. And I know a big fish sometimes helps to do that. But for me personally, I feel so fortunate to just be here and to just look at this and watch that rod bounce and not even care if I reel that fish in. I'm gonna, but I don't know. Maybe you get it. Maybe you don't. And I'm about to eat. I like that. Eat me a little brunch. I'm gonna reel that in. Baits are moving everywhere. The current has picked up in this spot, evidently. There's a really strong current over to this side, by the way. Over to the left side of the camera, really strong current. And it's just causing a sort of like a backflow to come into this hole that I'm sitting in. And you would think that would be consistent, but it is not. It has varied a lot since I've been here. The rods that I cast off the back of the boat end up making their way out to the right and back to the front of the boat. And I'm having to run 24 ounces on these side rods, these dead sticks, to hold them down. That girl Catfish Dave complains about current and boats and all kinds of stuff. He's got no idea what real current is, apparently. Or boats, for that matter. These boats out here are a quarter-mile long. A couple 100 feet wide. Looky there. Can I get it out of the rod? It's rolling, so it's definitely, it's not huge. I'm in a really strong current though. In fact, most of the fish that I marked here, they're out in so much current that I'm not going to fish for them. Fishing in heavy current like that is kind of, at least in my opinion, more of a team effort. And they were like 80 feet deep, and it was at least a 4-mile-an-hour current. Woo! Current kicking my butt. He's in the 20s. Yes, sir. That's an upgrade. there's one. Alrighty. Let's see what we got. I think he just sensed I was getting into my pork rinds and wanted to interrupt. Oh. Heavier fish than I thought. Probably 12 pounds rather than the 8 that I predicted. I'm happy to have you aboard, sir. Whew. Well, you guys missed some stuff. At some point, after the last, what I would assume would be the last fish that you guys are going to see caught on camera, that swirly hole that I was sitting at got a little goofy. The boat did a lot of movement, and I tangled up, let's see, 4 of the 6 rods that I got out went just, it was a bleep show. So I had to cut all that apart. There's tackle everywhere, there's rods in the floor. I've moved to a different spot. I'm going to put out the lines. This may be my last set for the day. It's still kind of early in the day. It's only lunch, but I don't know. I got a long drive. Well, I don't know. Who knows? I might be here at the bar. Let's just see what happens. In other news, though, the snowman is still somewhat alive. I don't know if you can see it. I'm just short casting because I'm on a really, really steep drop, and I want my baits to stay on this really steep drop. I mean, I might chuck 1 or 2 way out there, but I want some on the steep drop. If you're wondering why I'm not doing anything about that bite or how is that bait surviving, it's because it's a head bait, and head baits are durable. And it takes a big fish to take a head bait down, or bigger, and so it's best to just leave them alone until they get hammered. There we go. I'd have to check the camera, but I think that was about a 10 or 15 minute bite process there. I would rather lose a fish because I did nothing than lose a fish because I did something, if that makes sense. Actually got both these lines. The fish is wrapped up in that other line. Looks like it might be big fish of the day. I don't know. He's pulling now. Oh, I got it. Get out of that line. There's a wicked current tumbling down this drop. And when he hit it, he took off. Woo! I got it. It's not huge, but it's not small. In the boat. All right. Mangled that head bait. Look at how he mangled that bait. Now, the big question is, every time you catch a bigger fish on a head bait, is, were all those little bites little fish? And then this one came along and took it? That's the mystery, right? I don't want to deal with my hands busted up all week this week like I did last week. So I'm going to use a rag on this one. Yes. Let's put it back. Oh. Okay, check it out. It just occurred to me that since I have to cut apart and then put away all this tackle that got tangled up earlier, I would take a minute to show you guys exactly what tackle I use. I'm not always the best at stopping, you know, midday or whatever to tell you guys what I'm using in each individual video. And I noticed that some people do that, so I thought I'd tell you what I use and try to watch my lines at the same time. For tackle, this is it. One box. That's all I need. We'll start here and tell you about the swivels. I'll tell you about the hooks. If I'm setting up a dragging rig for like dragging across some slack water, I'll use these big 3-ways that you get at Walmart. I don't know why. I've always used them. However, if I need a 3-way for bumping, you know, moving down the channel and walking baits, I use this. It's a 2/0 3/0, meaning it's got a 2/0 and a 3/0 swivel on it. I like this smooth, rounded center to these. I don't know what brand it is, just something I get off Amazon. I'm not telling you guys about this to pump a brand. I'm telling you about this because some people ask about my rigs, and this is what I use. This is a Tackle and Catch chain swivel. I don't know if I'd call it a heavy duty, but it's certainly not a light duty, and I've never had one break. I would use that if on my bumping rigs after the 3-way, or I just use a regular old inline ball bearing. I really think that these are just as good as a chain swivel. I don't have problems with them tangling. These though are also tackling cats. It's their 2/0 swivel. That's my all-around swivel. When I just need a single swivel, not a 3-way, I go with that one. It's 2/0. I think they're phenomenal. I found that when I ordered all my swivels off like Amazon, where you don't know what you're getting, I would get lots of them that wouldn't even spin. I don't have that issue with those. Above swivels, anytime I'm going to run a sinker slide, I always run a bumper. But I don't buy regular. Well, I buy grommets basically. I buy them off Amazon because you can get them stupid cheap, way cheaper than something packaged for fishing. And it does the same thing, unlike a swivel that if you go cheap on that, it might not work. Again, off Amazon, that's where my sinker slide comes from. You can get these in all different sizes. I've got some of these bigger ones here with the green plastic. These are bigger. They don't need to be that heavy. These are super cheap on Amazon. You see the ones on there that are orange, they'll probably be this same one. They hold up great. Hooks. Basically, I use owner. I use tackling cats, and I use ripping lips for different things and different reasons. We'll start up here at the top with these owner hooks. When I was catching the fiddlers earlier in the video, I was using these. These are 1/0 Mutu lights. I also use the 3/0 Mutu light. These other bigger ones, I really don't ever use them because I prefer these tackling cats and ripping lips hooks better. In the ripping lips hooks, the red ones, I've got them in 5, 7, and 8. And to be honest, my favorite is the 7. I rarely use the 8 or the 5, either one. This is my all-time favorite hook for bumping when I want my bait to be floating up off the bottom. If I'm walking a bait from anchor or bumping and drifting with the current. This is a little bit lighter weight hook than, say, the equivalent tackling cats. I know that that's a minuscule difference in weight, but it's also a little bit, well, it's quite a bit different in geometry, and I feel this is a better hook for the reaction bite. But if I'm suspending or anchoring, I like the tackling cats hook better. I've got them in 6, 7, 8, and 9. I really don't even care that much for the 9. And my all-time favorite on the tackling cats is the 7 and the 6. There's a lot of people out there, I think they like to brag about using huge hooks. I'm not one of them. I don't think you need a big hook to catch a big fish. The 6 and the 7 tackling cats. So there you go. Hooks I use owner, tackling cats, and ripping lips. My favorite swivel is the tackling cats 2/0. And I do recommend these sinker slides off Amazon if you can find them in the orange. It's probably going to be that size. They're super cheap and they do just fine. There you go. Just a rundown on my tackle. Well, folks, there we have it. The last bit of bait has been sank. The snow is melting. The snowman is pretty much dead. And I'd say that's the end of this video. The catfish vacation.
This production was brought to you by Battery Outfitters. With locations all over the Mid-South, they are your neighborhood battery store.